All right, Shalom. Expect nothing but America to be turned on. Expect nothing but for America to be turned on. It's a WW3 GAMBIT update, you know, and a response to the latest WW3 update, you know, the manifestation of WW3. And yeah. But before we get into this call, I'm like, how about Shemel Shawah, Howard Kako, Dash, double honors to the hopefully like elder apostles and elder bishops at the Great Millstone Church. Shalom to all the Akim out here under the same doctrine, doing what they need to do according to the scriptures. Thus said the Lord across the four corners of the globe. Nonetheless, you know, regardless, into the rest of the believers and on his faith of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah, who people have ignorantly been calling God and Jesus Christ. So yeah. So expect for nothing but America to be turned on, right? By NATO and the EU, besides the countries that already are completely anti-America, against America, even if they do business and whatnot. So expect that, such as countries like China and you could say North Korea and whatnot, and so forth. But yeah, expect for other countries outside of those that's already against America to turn on them. You know, don't look for nothing else. You know, we have to keep it, you know, keep the prophecy. You know, that's why the scriptures say, "Blessed are they keep the prophecies of this book." You know, roughly paraphrasing, keeps the words of these prophecies. I believe that's in Revelation, but yeah, because with these alerts, because the Lord, see, first of all, the Lord said we're gonna hear rumors of wars. That's what this was. This Poland situation that took place. 2 people from Poland was killed. I believe there was regular civilians, and Russia name came up, and Poland is a NATO member. So NATO, they have something called Article 5, which is when it's been deemed an attack. When an attack has been done on one of the members, right? It goes into it being seen as and being something to be deemed as an attack on all. Right? The collective defense in Article 5, this is on the NATO.int. And it says, the principle of collective defense is at the very heart of NATO's founding treaty. It remains a unique and enduring principle that binds its members together, committing them to protect each other and setting a spirit of solidarity within the alliance. So it says collective defense means that an attack against one ally is considered an attack against all allies. The principle of the collective defense is enshrined in Article 5 of the Washington Treaty. NATO invoked Article 5 for the first time in its history after the 9/11 terrorist attacks against the U.S., which that was staged. But anyway, it says NATO has taking collective defense measures. So anyway, yeah, on several occasions, including in response to the situation in Syria and the Russian invasion of Ukraine. No, they haven't. NATO has standing forces on active duty that contributes to the alliance's collective defense efforts on a permanent basis. So that's basically what your Article 5 is this first one. Because all of this is just history and incidents of them pretty much living up to this agreement, this principle. But this is mainly what it is. But so pretty much the situation that happened could have been deemed, Article 5, but it wasn't. And I knew it wasn't going to be when I pretty much calmed down, because it didn't matter if it was or if it did or if it was or wasn't ultimately. And why do I say that? Because we're looking for America to be turned against. This is Jeremiah 51:48. Then the heaven and the earth and all that is therein shall sing for Babylon, which is America, for the spoilers shall come unto her from the north, which is Russia, saith the Lord. So the spoilers gonna come to America. They're not gonna go spoil Russia. They're gonna spoil America, and the spoilers are gonna come unto her from the north, which Russia is Russia. So everyone's basically gonna end up siding with Russia, being on Russia's side, which is the prophet, which is how the prophecies have it. But just until the appointed time, they're gonna be as a collective. But before I get that, let's go ahead and jump there. For those that don't know that, let's go to Ezekiel 38 and verse. Let's see. Let's start with verse. Because Lord want all these devils to go down. Let's start at 3. Ezekiel 38:3. And I say, and say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O God, that's Russia, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even with a great company, with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords. So the Lord is going to make sure, it made sure over time, was going to make sure over time that Russia will have military prowess. They will be come a force. All right. They military might and power will be there for the Lord's purpose, right? And that's what Russia has been doing. Who is God, right? They got missiles, everything. It says different. They got cruise missiles, siloed missiles, warheads. They got everything. Everything they need. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, right? They're geared and equipped for war. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Torgamah of the north quarters, and all his bands going into armies, and many people with thee. This the point. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And Gomer is Turkey, which Turkey, who was NATO, they have been having difficulties within the conglomerate. let's see. (2022) Turkey's crisis with the West. And who's the West? Let's go back. It says Turkey's crisis with the West, how a new low in relations risk paralyzing NATO. Because Turkey is NATO. Turkey is a part of NATO. It says NATO's most important challenge. This came out November 19, 2020. But, it's only been increasing from the same point. From this point, it hasn't went back. Why? Because that's prophecy. These people are going to turn on America, which we're going to get after this. It says NATO's most important challenge today might not come from Russia, but from within. Because Russia is obviously not NATO. And NATO is who America has on its side. Them all the allies of America, which is why America hasn't been taken down yet. Because they a part of NATO. They really influence NATO. They're the horde. It says, but from within, with the number of disputes between Turkey, see that, and several European allies, yet again on the rise. The two parties' souring relations have begun undermining the organization's cohesion and ability to make timely collective decisions. If left unaddressed, these tensions could cause serious damage to the world's most powerful alliance, and that's all we waiting on to happen, because that's going to leave America open, which countries like such as North Korea, China, Iran, who else? There's a bunch of countries that's ready to take America out right now, man. I believe India is on that list. No, if I'm mistaken, brother can correct me. But people within the NATO, low key. All right. Look, because it says, we're going to jump to the point. Yeah. The latest flashpoint came from Turkey's open backing of Azerbaijan's war effort in the small landlocked enclave of Nagorno-Karabakh, which ended abruptly in early November thanks to a Russian brokered deal. So since they started messing with Russia, they left them alone. But it says reports of military assistance and alleged Syrian mercenaries sent by Turkey placed at Ankara at loggerheads with its NATO allies calls for a peaceful negotiated resolution to the conflict. Right. Because all these people, they still do business on some level. Like Russia do business with the European countries within NATO. So, they ain't buddies, they don't kick it, but they trying to get there, so they're like, you stay over there, you know what I'm saying? You do what you gotta do, I let you do what you gotta do, you let me do what I gotta do, and so forth. But really, they hate each other, they want to take each other out. And once again, these are Edomite ran places for the most part, the majority of them. It says the deal, which foresees Baku reacquiring sizable portions of the disputed enclave, has made Turkey one of the obvious winners of the recent flare-up. While, this is the point, Western allies, such as who? America, remain on the sidelines. For some, this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, added to a long list of complaints they have recently leveled against their NATO ally, right? Because America, they the reason why all these countries getting into the crap they in, and then America, they dip. Watch everybody get beat up. Start the drama and get everybody beat up, basically. Reading on. So yeah, that's basically it. I ain't gotta get no more. All right. Now, that's Gomer, Turkey. Gomer and all his bands. The house of Torgamah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. So the Lord is saying all these people of the east is going to come together with Russia. You know what I'm saying? Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. Thou, Russia themselves, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. And be thou a guard unto them, which is why I say a great, the spoiler shall come unto Babylon from the north. Right? So, that being said, that's basically the point. Revelation 17, that's all we're looking for. 17 and let's start at 15 or 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, right? These shall hate the whore. That's dealing with NATO. NATO and the EU. These shall hate the whore, right? And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh. You know, it's a conglomerate of a bunch of Edomite ran places, you know, to this day. And some of them were actual empires and whatnot. Right? Reading on, it says, but these shall hate the whore. You know, and they just been together all these years, pretty much. Making a Edomite playbook for the earth. You know, a beast system. But anyway, it says, these shall hate the whore. So they're going to end up becoming divided. This goes into the, you know, Daniel, you know, the 10 toes. But anyway, it says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So they're going to ultimately what? Turn on this place. So that's why we're waiting on. But this the point. They ain't did that yet. They haven't did that yet. So for now, until they get to the point where they turn on this place, they're going to what? Verse 17, for God had put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, right? This beast system, these alliances, these treaties and whatnot. What? For how long? Until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So the Lord is like everything get developed. And that's all we're supposed to be looking for. So this came out, it says, Biden unlikely missile that hit Poland fired from Russia. And I mentioned this because pretty much almost jumped in and said something, but I'm like, wait, ain't no point in being all eager because nothing that might not even happen behind this. Now, this is an update nonetheless because just the thought that it's showing you previews of, you know, some World War III type action. You know, it's showing you previews of pretty much these countries. But really, that's why I said it don't even make sense because the only thing that's going to happen is everybody turning on America and ultimately linking with Russia. So I can't even sit here and let that come on my mouth because that's not going to happen. Even if, let's say they did fake like they was going to go to war real quick, something will have to happen last minute to where America end up being to blame and they end up turning on America and joining sides with Russia and all that. That's the only way. You know, so it was basically being another instance of we just gotta watch. All right, for those of you that's new to all of this, we only looking for these countries to turn on America because that's how prophecy have it. And until they do, you're gonna see them agreeing. It's supposed to be going on. So any like alerts or you can tell if it's a false flag or it's going against that narrative. Now, that don't mean you ignore things that happen like this because we don't know how the Lord is going to actually have people turn on America. What's going to be the thing to do it? It could be shit. They might get all together one day and be like, we're going to take out Russia, and something happen like that, which would be due to something like this. Because they were saying that the missiles that hit these people, right, was from Russia, but through the investigation, because it was Russian missiles, which they found out through the investigation. But pretty much, Russia had came out and denied. Russia's defense came out and denied missile strikes on Poland. You know, so they didn't even claim it. And these are the people, I guess.
Says the reports are a deliberate provocation aimed at escalating the conflict. The ministry also stated that wreckage there found at the scene apparently had nothing to do with Russian weaponry. Poland is of course a member of NATO. The alleged strike would be the first Russian missile to enter NATO territory during its conflict with Ukraine, which would have repercussions. Poland's Prime Minister meeting of the National Security and Defence Affairs Committee would echo what our colleagues at the White House have said on this as well, which is that we have seen.
You can just tell these people not gonna do nothing. America, that's why I said don't even look for nothing else.
Poland and are working with the Polish government and our NATO partners to gather more information. Can't confirm the reports or any of the details. But I can assure you we will determine what happened and what appropriate next steps would be. Dutton also expressed his concerns about this development. And to see people killed in Poland now is a tragedy for them, for their families, for their country, but for the
So yeah, man. Let me see. Yeah, it's all good. So all this ends with America being destroyed, but all we're supposed to be looking for, you know, is that to happen. You know what I'm saying? I got two more. Let's get Jeremiah 23 and 20. The anger of the Lord shall not return until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly. You know, exactly. Because everything, we gotta remember, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As it tells us in Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So you can't get these people, you know, puppet master control. Just because they empowered. I mean, you know, the Lord he control their hearts. They could think and say what they want to say, which ultimately even come down to the Lord. He decides what that even go, how far they even go. But you know, you can't give them that credit. You know, let's go to Psalms 9 and 19. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh, let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Put them in fear, O Yahweh, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Exactly. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, he gonna always continuously show us that is all comes down to his will. Right? It don't come down to nothing else. So I think I got everything. I got the Jeremiah. I got those real quick. Oh yeah. You know, these people gonna talk, but it all come down to America being hated. You know, America having people setting array against her, which will tell you in Jeremiah the 50 50th chapter, the 51st chapter, and whatnot. The spoilers gonna come to her. Don't look for anyone else to be spoiled, ultimately, except um, um, America, aka Babylon. See that? Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, meaning America, an assembly of great nations from the north country. Right? So ultimately, everybody gonna side with Russia, man. Russia gonna look. That's a sign right there, because they saying that the missile that hit, they said it was just a Russian. Look, it was a Russian made missile. That's remember, the Lord told God to prepare for thyself and for others. You know what I'm saying? So that's heavy. But anyway, it says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken, and it says their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So how about Shmuel Shah? He's using Russia because the Lord says in 2 Ezra the 16th chapter that he's gonna shoot his arrows. It's gonna be like a pretty much an expert archer. But he's saying that's how when Russia come with their missiles and they shoot them, that's how they gonna come off. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord has put, that ability in those people over there. For lack of better words, pretty much Yahweh Bashmal Shah is the spirit, like brothers like to say, the Spirit of the Lord gonna be in those missiles. They're gonna be in all of them, because they're the weapons of His indignation. But anyway, I got one more. So you're gonna see yourself in in these situations, and you gotta realize, So he said you gonna understand perfectly. These people gonna talk, and there's gonna be these different things, but there ain't nothing else to look for but what the Lord said. This is Matthew 24, and verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Yeah, that's in one sense. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So that wasn't nothing but a rumor. They America, not those people. They don't really want to go to war, because they know what comes after that, man. They don't want to issue an Article 5. They see how the Russians, the so-called Russians, are on it, man. How they coming, as Jake like to say. But anyway, let's go to Revelation 17, and I'll close here. Again, I finished them articles, and that'll be it. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Through the missiles they gonna collectively get together, with Russia on, and shoot with at her, at this place, at America, and take this place down. Because they're responsible for all the issues. They just no good. And that's just the judgment the Lord has for this place for millions of reasons. The Israelites' blood here. There's the wickedness, the wicked source of the earth. It's the potion of the earth, all of this crap. But it says, for God had put, Yahweh Bashmal Shah has put in their hearts to fulfill His will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High, Yahweh Bashmal Shah, shall be fulfilled. So, there you go. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And that's why this place is going to come down. So, the Russian, Biden, unlikely missile that hit Poland, fired from Russia. That's showing you, what I'm saying, through the Spirit, they're going to take the low. They better take that bait from Russia by saying they ain't have nothing to do with it. You know, they ain't gonna do shit. They're not gonna do. America never do anything. You know, all they do is just cast spells. You know, Joe Biden said Wednesday it was unlikely that a missile, quote unquote, unlikely that a missile killed two in NATO ally Poland was fired from Russia, but he pledged support for Poland's investigation into what it was called a Russian, quote unquote, a Russian-made missile. Biden spoke after he convened an emergency, quote unquote, emergency meeting of the Group of Seven and NATO leaders in Indonesia Wednesday morning for consultations on the explosion that killed two people in the eastern part of Poland near the Ukraine border. So they not with it because, like I said, if they was to do anything, Russia just pull that whole pipeline, and then fucking Europe will freeze over, and they not ready to go to war like that. They don't want it, but something gonna happen to where they gonna turn on America, and America gonna get took out, man. And it's gonna be the end of Esau's world, and we gonna be in power, and that's what's gonna happen. And by we, us Hebrew Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, awaken to this truth. We're gonna be gathered once World War III kicks off, which is gonna be through that event when everybody turn on America and they look to take this place out, and that's gonna bring Yahushua back. That's gonna be the event to where Yahushua and the angels, the chariots and spacecraft, the armies of the Lord are gonna have to return, so, to where we get beamed up, put back to our righty state, get the new bodies, and ultimately come down and take the kingdom. You know. And that's it. That's the end of Esau's world. So that's all we waiting on. Poland, NATO say missile strike wasn't a Russian attack, so they not on nothing. You know, because it'd be too difficult. Like, yeah, they could, round everybody up off of this, and then everybody get the chip in the concentration camp. You know what I'm saying? And then, but there's so many other things that gotta happen, like, or the pestilence can happen there. Okay, true. Then what else? Judah get roused up. Well, Judah can get roused up in there. Okay, then what else? What about all the animals and stuff like that? What about they gotta eat people? And there's so many different things, man. You know, the sword, how the city's gonna get destroyed, well, the cities can get destroyed through. So this is why we watch, you know, but like I said, that make less sense. But we do watch. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, because the Lord can have these things that are only going to happen, which is what He says is going to happen, and however, man, you never know, you know. But ultimately, like I said, they're not going to do nothing. Don't expect for nothing else but Russia, for America to be turned on by NATO and the EU, and ultimately them joining up with, you know, pretty much the rest of the kings of the East, so-called kings of the East, and taking this place out. So ain't nothing gonna touch Russia. Lord gonna assure that, you know, to where they don't bring those missiles through this place. And we watch them hit this place as we on the ships, looking down. Lord will. So with that, that's all I had. Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah, call Halam Barakatah. Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah Barakatah, call Halam La Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah. Slaki, Yahweh call Halam La Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah, Wahara Kakadash. You know, until next time, Shalom.